What is happening, folks? It's Rob Z again coming at you. We are not in Roger's bunker of awesome. We are today. We are in the Zabersky Center of Excellence. This is what I have lovingly referred to, what I've named my office. I love, this is my favorite space in my house. And for those of you following, you probably know, I've been spending a fair amount of time here. I'm sure that anybody watching this video, most of you I should say, probably have your own favorite space in the house. One of the things I love most about my office is I'm super comfy here. And this kind of got me thinking about the topic for today's third video. I really want to talk about what is it that the top producers, what is it that the people who are consistently breaking records, the people who are showing up for those amazing fourth quarter performances that you heard about last week, there's one common denominator that they all have. And what that is, they've figured out how to get a good night's sleep. Now, I'm sure some of you, if you're still, hopefully you're still watching, you're probably going, Rob, I'm gonna sleep when I'm dead. You're kind of an idiot. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I can't make money when I'm sleeping. I can't work when I'm sleeping. The reality is, if you're not doing what it takes to consistently get a good night's sleep, none of the rest of that matters, because you're not going to have the energy, you're not going to have the mental bandwidth, you're not going to have the patience or the attitude that it takes to get the job done, especially in this crucial fourth quarter time of the year. So there's three keys I'm going to talk about today. The three keys that go into getting a really, really solid, consistent good night's sleep. Cool, dark, and quiet. Those are the three keys. Before we get into those though, there's this like Miracle Grow secret sauce. Like, we talk a lot about the cheat codes, right? When people are growing up playing video games, you always had the cheat codes you could plug in to get the extra lives. Here's the cheat code for getting a good night's sleep. Right before you fall asleep, as you're drifting off, ask yourself this question: who am I here to serve, and how am I best to serve them? Let that elephant in your subconscious go to work while you're sleeping. Let it go find the people that you're best at working with. Let it figure out how to best serve those people, so you can make sure that anybody coming in your door, anybody calling you, anybody sending you an email is always the right person, and you are set up for success in every single situation possible. All right, that's the cheat code. Now let's talk about the work you need to do to make sure that you're getting a really great night of sleep to give you everything you need to perform at your top. Cool, dark, and quiet. So let's talk about number one is cool. You want to get that, and this is a perfect time of the year. I don't know, wherever you're watching this, I'm outside Chicago. I'm in the Midwest. We just had this lovely cool front come in, and we're sleeping with the windows open. It's awesome. The skunks are gone and the temperature is low. We have been sleeping so well. Your body needs to get into a relaxed state, and when you keep it at a cool temperature, I'm not a doctor, but I know what I've read. When you keep your environment at a cool temperature, that actually allows your body to cool down and get you into that relaxed state where you're going to slip into those deeper levels of sleep faster and easier. So if you're still sleeping with a thermostat, set that thing a couple degrees cooler. If you're like me in the Midwest where it's getting really chilly at night, feel free to crack that window open. Just make it as cool as possible in your bedroom. Plus, it's a good reason to snuggle. All right, dark. Let's talk about dark. It's pretty dark in my room. It's one of the reasons I love it. It's so relaxing in here. But when you're sleeping, you want to have it as dark as possible. Because of your circadian rhythms and all kinds of fun, sciencey, techie, nerdy stuff, your body can actually sense when it's got light shining on it or when it's exposed to light. It'll actually keep you awake. This is why if you've ever studied or read about people who are into spelunkering, that's people that hang out in caves, for those of you that don't like to use big words, any cave explorers or people who do spelunkering, they'll actually adopt a 25 or 26 hour day because their body doesn't actually understand when it is day versus night. And so as a result of that, they'll actually work longer, work harder, and get more done because they think they have more time to do it. But you add light to the mix, and that just throws that whole thing off. Personally, I've adopted. I got a bunch of buffs that I have because for skiing or riding or hiking or whatnot. So I've actually turned a buff into an eye mask for myself. And I gotta tell you, the nights that I wear that thing, it's amazing. Just having it as dark as possible is crucial to getting that good night's sleep. And then quiet. I feel like this one kind of speaks for itself, but we're going to talk about it anyway. The less background noise, the less opportunity you have to get woken up or distracted and take you out of that deep sleep. It's huge. It's huge for you. Now, there's some people that argue that it's great to have white noise. That's cool if that works for you. Go for it. Like having a fan. I know my wife, it's like 2 rooms in our house. My wife's got the fan going and blowing on her, and I gotta put the little earplugs in because the white noise doesn't work for me. But having it as quiet as possible. I mean, I'd go so far as if you've got, you can get things like these soundproofing boards. Put these up in your room just to absorb any of the additional sound. That's a great tool you can use to make sure your room is as quiet as possible. So again, when it comes, you gotta get your sleep. All right, it's one of those. Here's why. Here's why this is important. Okay, when you are chronically fatigued, I talk about this in a lot of the memory training workshops that we teach. When you're chronically fatigued, the impact on your brain is the exact same thing as walking around with a couple beers or a couple cocktails in your system. Like when you're crying, if you're driving tired, it's the same as driving drunk. Okay, in Illinois, they put you in jail for driving drunk. I don't know what's like where you live, but why would you put yourself in that situation to set yourself up for that potential downfall of being arrested? And we talk about being arrested in a lot of different capacities. That could be a less than ideal interaction with your client. That could be getting into an unnecessary argument with your team member or one of your colleagues, or even your spouse, your family member. So listen, I think we can all agree that having appropriate, adequate, consistent nights of sleep is going to be best for you to keep you on top of your game as we enter this 4th quarter. So again, cool, dark, quiet, the 3 keys to getting a really good, consistent night's sleep. And then don't forget about that extra code, that cheat code. Really, before you fall asleep, ask yourself who you feel like you're here best to serve and how are you best to serve them. Let that elf in your subconscious go to work find that for you. All right. Hey, if you got suggestions, any other suggestions for us on what leads to a good night's sleep, throw those in the comments below. Feel free to hit reply to this email, and we'll look forward to seeing you all next week as we wrap up our 4th quarter of 2020. All right, we'll talk to you soon. Make it a great rest of your day.